Mr. President, I've been listening to my colleagues on the other side of the aisle so I could try to understand their arguments. On my side of the aisle, we've been told that the Democrats in the Senate will not meet with the Republicans in the Senate about this issue. And yet we've had Democrat after Democrat on this floor this afternoon complain that they can't get meetings with Republican senators. They won't meet with Republican senators. They say we only want to meet with the president. Now we hear the president has submitted a proposal to them that is extremely reasonable. That's what we hear on the Republican side of the aisle. We haven't seen the president's proposal to the Democrats because they won't show it to us. Makes me wonder whether the president's proposal was so reasonable that they don't want to show it to us, that they don't want to be put in the position of having to agree with the president that they truly despise as an individual. So the whole nation is being held up by this. So I want to apologize to the American people, especially to the TSA agents, the FEMA workers, and other agencies within the Department of Homeland Security who are not getting paid. I want to apologize to the American people who are standing in lines at airports trying to get through TSA to get on airplanes, and they're stuck in those lines for 3 and 4 hours. I want to apologize to the people in my state, day before yesterday, who live in the city of Wright, Wyoming, where there was a over 1,500 acre fire heading in the direction of Wright, and no one from FEMA was available to help advise with regard to those issues. These things are happening around our country today, and yet we have Democrats in this Senate saying the Republicans won't work with us, and we have Republicans in this Senate saying the Democrats won't even speak to us. It sounds like two ships passing in the night in the Senate. Now, the odd thing is, when we're not in front of the cameras, we're not on C-SPAN, we're not on this floor making speeches, we actually do talk to each other. We actually do get along. And yet, here we are in an impasse that has us hurling disagreements at each other that don't even reflect an assessment. If I was watching this on C-SPAN and I was just a citizen, I would say, I don't get this. They're acting as if they don't know what the other side is doing or thinking. Well, even being here in this body, I don't know what the other side is thinking. I hear them say they're mad because ICE agents are wearing masks, don't have warrants, and there's a couple things there that I would point out. The reason ICE agents started wearing masks is because truly belligerent protesters were identifying those ICE agents and then going to their homes and their children's schools and threatening their families. So they put on masks so as they are doing their job, the protesters cannot identify them and harass their families and them for doing their job. Then I hear that this is about the fact that some Americans, protesters, were killed in Minneapolis. We all mourn those deaths. But those were protesters who were not innocent bystanders. They were protesting in a very provocative way, taking on ICE agents directly, either using their cars or kicking the headlights out of cars and yelling and throwing rocks at ICE agents. That's not innocence. It doesn't mean they should have been shot, but it does mean they were not behaving in an innocent manner. But let's look at who was behaving in an innocent manner. Laken Riley was out jogging in Georgia when an illegal alien came up and killed her. And she fought back, and they smashed her until she was dead. That was an innocent bystander. The little girl who was raped and thrown to the side of the road in Texas, that was an innocent bystander. The mother who was jogging here back east, the mother of 4 kids, who was attacked and murdered while jogging, that was an innocent bystander. The problem I have with this whole discussion is we're showing tremendous sympathy for American protesters who were encountering ICE agents in a provocative way, and we have forgotten about the innocent Americans who were killed by illegal criminals, some of whom had been previously arrested in this country and turned loose. When trying to eradicate this country of the illegal criminals who are harassing people in this country, are killing people in this country, are raping people in this country, are human trafficking in this country, we're taking our eye off the reason that ICE exists in the first place. We're taking our eye off the American people who just want to feel safe when they go for a jog, when their kids are out riding their bikes. I do feel terrible about the American who were provoking ICE agents and were killed in the process. But I feel more sorry for the parents, the children, the husbands and wives who lost their family members through no fault of the innocent victim. So we're in a terrible conundrum here. We have the Democrats refusing to pay TSA, Homeland Security agencies like FEMA, if ICE agents aren't required to strip those masks off their faces when they're arresting people. But the Democrats aren't acknowledging that those masks were worn simply for the ICE agents to protect themselves and their own families. What a conundrum we're in. And the innocent American people standing in TSA lines are bearing the brunt of this. The employees of the federal government who haven't received a paycheck are bearing the brunt of this. I wish the cameras weren't on. I wish we could have discussions on things like this the way our Constitution was drafted. Those were not open discussions. There were no cameras. The founders weren't playing to the cameras. In fact, they locked themselves in a hot, humid, stinky room until they came up with the greatest document that's ever been written in a secular manner by mankind. And here we are defending that document today and debating it. So I would ask my Democrat colleagues, sit down with Katie Britt. Sit down with our Senate colleagues on our side of the aisle. Bring your own colleagues who feel strongly about this, who are passionate about this. Sit down and have a discussion among us I know you too well. You are reasonable when you want to be. We are reasonable when we want to be. So let's turn off the stupid cameras and have a family conversation for the good of the American people. Mr. President, I yield back.